Welcome back to the OG's Postgame Show with John. I'm Kyle. It's time now to play Fan
X Fan.
And for this one, we're going back to Thursday night. You know, there was the big game in Kansas City. You're ready, aren't you?
I saw Creed 2 last week.
Oh, yeah.
So just a little hook.
Give you some inspiration?
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to Thursday night's game between the Chiefs and the Chargers. And the idea of this segment, by now you probably know it well, is that we like to look at these games through the eyes of someone who may still be a Chargers fan and someone who may now be a Chargers ex-fan. So John and I take turns each week, and this week, John, you got the lucky straw, didn't you?
I am going to be a fan.
That's a pretty good one this week, I got to admit, as an ex-fan. It's kind of rough.
I must say, as the weeks have gone along here and the Chargers have been stacking the wins, it's been more difficult to be the ex-fan.
I think I'm prepared, though.
Oh, you are?
I have not had the benefit of seeing Creed 2 yet, but I've seen the entire Rocky series and Creed 1, so I think I'm all right.
Creed 2 is pretty good.
Let's do it.
The whole series is like a cash grab at this point, but it's worth going out to see. Okay, we're starting with the fan. Am I going first or are you going first?
I think you're going first, Mr. Fan. Go for it.
All right, let's talk about Philip Rivers.
Okay.
This is the guy that just a couple of weeks ago, 28 of 29 passing. Thursday night, Rivers threw what might have been his worst pass of the year. Off his back foot, leaning back, horribly underthrown, picked off. Then in the second quarter...
I thought you were the fan here. What's going on?
Stick with me. Remember, Creed 2, you got to have the build-up. He does it again. Overthrows the receiver, picked off. Now, what does Rivers do? Does he get discouraged? Does he get down? No, he plays this game one play at a time. This throw here to Travis Benjamin, that might be the most underrated throw of his career. To thread that thing, that's like threading the needle with the needle turned sideways.
That was on 4th and 8, too.
4th and 8, no kidding, clutch. And Rivers then goes on to throw the touchdown pass, and then after that, the two-point conversion. Rivers, what do you got? 215 straight starts, including playoffs. The guy cannot be overlooked. Great guy to have as my franchise quarterback. All right, how about the depth of this roster? Keenan Allen, he goes down with a hip injury. By the way, how good was this one-handed grab that didn't count because he was out of bounds? That's beside the point.
Which means it's not a grab.
Too many good things for this fan to talk about the week. I digress. You don't have your top two running backs going. No problem. No-namers like Deke Trez Newsome and Justin Jackson. Who? Yeah, I hadn't heard of him either. They next man up this thing to victory, and then Mike Williams, he's going to go up the gut and to score on the end around, and Mike Williams just decides to have a coming out party. 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. Not bad for number 2 guy. Mr. X-Fan, depth will take us far.
Yeah.
Yes, I said us. I have an ounce in my pocket. I am a Chargers fan. And finally, how about coaching? Anthony Lynn, he knew the key to victory was keeping Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs offense off the field. So he had the Chargers go on clock draining drives.
Yeah, he did.
Winning time of possession. Philip Rivers on the field, Mahomes off the field. That's the key. And when the Chargers scored with 4 seconds to play, he did not hesitate to go for 2 and the win. And then he dialed up a play that put the game in the hands of his best player, Philip Rivers. He didn't hand it off, trying to run it up the middle. One other note, the Chargers now have wins on the road against Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Seattle. Yeah. And it was cold in Kansas City. If my warm weather team has to go through New England, Pittsburgh, or Kansas City, or the North Pole, they're going to be ready because this team is going to the Super Bowl, baby.
My
clinching the playoff spot, and we're going.
Mr. Fan, the more wins the Chargers get, the longer your segment seems to get.
You might think I'm a blockhead. Yeah. I'm a fan.
That's all the time we have for the show, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
You saying I went too long?
Is there any more? Do you have any more?
I concede the table to you.
Thank you. All right. You know what? I'm going to start my X-Fan segment with some just pure honesty. I've got to admit, with all this winning, I'm kind of in no man's land here, or in this case, no fans land. Oh, okay. There's been a lot of winning going on for the Chargers all of a sudden. I would be very content if the Chargers would just lose every single game. That would be euphoria. But the way they're winning, these crazy comebacks on national television, I got to admit it. Even as an X-fan, it's kind of exciting. You know, I catch myself kind of pumping a fist now and then and cheering a little bit, and then I think, what am I doing? I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted. Finally, there's a playoff team that could make some noise with the name Chargers, and I just can't root for them, even though, again, admittedly, sometimes I kind of want to, but I'm not going to do it.
Glad to see you're coming over to my way of thinking.
But then reality starts to set in, John, and I remember that these are, in fact, the Chargers, and as usual, they're starting to fall apart. Now, I hate to see injuries, okay? I hate them. But with this team, they are inevitable. Keenan Allen, sorry, but he is made of glass. I have Christmas ornaments more durable than Keenan Allen. 0 catches Thursday night after crash landing in the end zone. And Melvin Gordon, as you know, out for who knows how long. Without those guys healthy, I'm sorry, the Chargers are going nowhere, and they will be out in the first round of the playoffs, or whatever round they start playing in, because you know what? You can fool these guys once with all these backup players you just rattled off, but you're not going to do that in the postseason. And finally, speaking of which, as an X-fan, I am actually rooting for the Chargers to win the AFC West and secure a first-round bye in the playoffs. Because you see this? This is what it looks like in New England and what it looks like in Pittsburgh during the postseason. John, it's die-hard fans going crazy, waving their towels, okay? Now, this is what it looked like up at the StubHub Center a week ago with all those empty seats, okay? So what's going to happen is all of those empty seats are going to be filled by those crazy either New England fans or Steelers fans. They're going to pack the StubHub Center, and it's going to be another road game for the Chargers. And you know this, Mr. Fan. The Chargers have been better away from the StubHub Center than they have been inside it. So as an X-fan, yeah, let's get it done, get into the AFC Championship game, and I want to see the embarrassment that the NFL has hosting a 27,000 fan game completely filled with fans from the other team.
Yeah, on that tennis court that they call a football field up there in Carson. And putting our fictitious roles to the side, you're absolutely right. I think this Charger team would rather play in Pittsburgh, in New England, in Kansas City.
They won't say that, but do they really want to play in L.A., their home, Los Angeles? No, they don't.
And like you say, the NFL does not want to see a home playoff game in Carson. So those of you who are ex-NFL guys, they want to see that playoff game in L.A. and see what it's like.
All right, that was fun. Another edition of Fan
X-Fan.